What is going on, everybody? There it is right there. Dr. Chris Featherstone here for another episode of The Legion of Raw. Please pardon me. I had a back procedure today and I am in a ton of pain. So we're going to get through this.
Yes.
And I feel like I had a bunch of needles in my back about this yay big down my spine. And so, yeah, man, we're gonna get through it, man. I'm gonna get through it. Let's do it,
bro. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get Dr. Chris out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here, man. All right. What'd you think of Raw? The Jey Uso project after 6 weeks' time is over with. Do you think it was a successful project or no?
I did not like that call. I would not. God, bro, the whole development of Gunther and Jey, just taking the belt off of Gunther when they shouldn't have, and now taking the belt off of Jey when I think they shouldn't have. I don't understand the rhyme or reason to it. It's usually a feel, bro. You usually know.
Yeah.
But they were having a hard time building Jey, and I don't think this helps him in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, it helps Gunther. It's great for Gunther, but you could tell Jey kind of wasn't feeling it, and I would have thought the most important thing was building his confidence. Now, I could also make the argument that he doesn't need the belt because he's over, because everybody's yeeting, but the fact that they put that on him and people were trying to turn a little bit, man, I swear to God, Chris, like I really feel like Triple H just lets this audience dictate everything to him. Everything to him. And bro, there comes a time when you have to do certain things, but I just think he's making so many decisions on what he's reading, man, and I think that's hurting the company.
Yeah. I mean, you can't allow fickle fans to be the focus groups and basically they're the head writers of these shows. They just prance. I've talked about this on a class of pancakes and power slams, man, as far as just how the audience has just barged in the creative rooms every single week and has become the head writer. I mean, that's essentially what we're doing every single week with these shows. And it's like, man, you can't do that, because at the end of the day, there's always going to be that mob mentality. There's always going to be that revolution mentality that they're putting themselves over by making people famous. I mean, that's basically what they want, the rub of putting people over. Because what happens is we get our truth. Yeah. Now you go from we want truth, and now everybody's crapping on Triple H because LA Knight didn't win the Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? So it's like,
oh yeah, and bro, okay, so the R-Truth thing, when that was 100% a good, solid, plausible business decision.
Yeah.
Okay. And like I said, I'm a fan of R-Truth, but that was strictly business, and I think it was a good business decision. So you had that. Mm-hmm. We had Jey Uso tonight. We had Lyra Velcro with 2 weeks of what took the belt off of her, bro. Come on, Chris. Listen, man, you got Nikki Bella now and Liv.
Yeah.
You know they're gonna wind up booing Nikki Bella. So then what do we do at that point? We're gonna get rid of Nikki Bella?
Exactly.
I mean, my God, Triple H, man, you gotta stop letting this crowd have such an influence on your freaking booking, man.
You have to, man. Because at the end of the day, it's like at the end of the day, man, there's not a general consensus when it comes to these crowds. It's just that what is everybody else saying that I can be a part of? I want to be a part of the mosh pit. I mean, that's essentially what we're doing every single week. It's that mosh pit mentality. We're all having fun. Let's just be out here and just act a fool, and whatever happens, happens. And at the end of the day, it's like, man, you can't really predicate business and creative decisions on that type of mentality, because we've seen this for years, man. It's like everybody is just a flavor of the month, man. That's just what we do.
And Chris, let's really break down. You know, when I have you on here, I love to break down the psychology. And this is where I say, I'm sorry, Triple H is just clueless. Here's a perfect example. So we've got Liv, who's in the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got Rosie Perez invading the clubhouse. So that kind of makes Liv the babyface. Mm-hmm. That now you got this outside coming in. She's kind of, buttering up to RD and Finn, and they're the heels, okay? So she's the heel, and Liv is kind of the babyface. Then, bro, 5 minutes later, you're putting her in the ring to be a heel towards a returning Nikki Bella. This is what I'm talking about, bro. Like, you can, Chris, I don't know if these Mark fans don't care about confusion. I don't know if it's not important to them, if they know what's going on or not. But if I'm a casual fan and 1 minute I'm behind Liv and like, okay, bro, now I'm supposed to be, on Nikki's side 10 minutes later, it gets very confusing, man.
Absolutely. I mean, correlate that to a comic book, Vince. I mean, essentially what you're having is the Joker have issues with Two-Face, and then Superman is the common goal who they want to destroy, but they have beef, which is fine. That's what happens with bad guys. But at the same time, what you do is you don't make Two-Face or the Joker look like heroes. I mean, that's not who they are. They're bad guys.
Yeah.
So you don't put them in a scenario where either one of them could be cheered. There's dissension, like a Cena and Logan Paul. Like there's two big egos that really can't get along with each other. That's fine. But at the same time, it's like, no, we're not getting to the point where, okay, you've got the Joker and the Riddler. The Joker is making it seem basically the babyface against the Riddler, but also he comes out and destroys Batman. No, that's not how storytelling works, man.
And Chris, let's look at another part of this show. You did the same thing with Velcro and Becky.
Yep.
So the heel calls down the babyface. The babyface is coming. Another babyface jumps the heel from behind, and the other babyface is looking at the other babyface like, what?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so damn confusing.
Why is Lyra confused? I mean, like, Becky made it clear that she jumped Bayley to get the spot. Like, that was her, like, one of her first things that she said during her heel promo. So it was very clear. So why is Lyra confused that Bayley's getting her, her licks back after getting jumped backstage? I don't understand how that wouldn't make sense to Lyra's mind. It's it's a lot of confusion, man. But I think at the end of the day, when you're having a PLE every 3 weeks, I mean, there's these fast-paced, hot shot, knee-jerk type of storytelling. It feels incomplete because it doesn't have time to draw out. So what you do is you hurry up and throw something for a week or two, then you book a match. And then you have a smosh finish, and then you run it back again on another PLE. And then someone wins, and then you run it back again at another PLE. And so it's like you don't have time to really draw out storylines because you're continue to get these.
Yeah,
it's becoming a money thing. Let's just have a PLE for 3 weeks without drawing out short storylines. And then instead of spending some time away, having some more time and space in between PLEs, and actually making the story out of these matches.
And again, Chris, let's look at Truth tonight. Okay. The whole speech on top of the table. Bro, if I'm a casual fan, I don't know what he's talking about. So, Truth, why don't you just say they weren't going to renew my contract because I'm 53 years old? Say now, bro, now. Oh, I understand. Ageism, 53 now. By the fact that he's given 53, people are saying, holy crap, he's 53. Now all of a sudden they're behind the Truth because he's 53. But the story he told, if I'm a casual fan who is not online, I don't know what he's talking about.
100%, man. I do think that this was the best part of the show. I think the shock value of the haircut, and it was, I always said I'm a sucker for R-Truth, a big Truth fan. That was much needed. I'm glad that they were able to bring that into the storyline, which I think was cool. Give us more, man. Give us
the 53. That's
give
huge.
us the 53.
Bro, I don't know. The fact that dude looks like that at 53, that is plus. How does that hurt him? And especially if he says that's why they didn't want to renew my contract because of my age. Look at me. Do I look like I'm 53 years old to you? I could still go with anybody in that locker room. Give us that, man.
That's an interesting part. This is an interesting conversation that we can get into here. Do you think? I think you don't do it now. I think it's obvious you don't do it now. But do you think that Triple H, reluctant to bring him in, is on a not direct or not like blatant or very obvious? But do you think that there's some subtle sabotaging when it comes to booking Truth from now on?
Absolutely. If it wasn't Triple H's call, absolutely. I've seen that a million times over. When it's not my idea and it's somebody else's, I am going to make sure it falls flat. I've seen it a million times before, man.
And it makes I mentioned it because I heard there was some big plans for R-Truth. I reported it. Sportskeeda reported on the Backstage Pass. There's some big plans for R-Truth, and I know that he signed a retirement run, the kind of a one more run type of deal. There's reports that Nick Khan actually came in and because he was ignoring calls from the WWE, which good on him, man. Know your worth. I'm a big fan of that, and I'm wondering if. The first thing I thought about this was a business standpoint. I know we'll get more into it with our other shows, but I was like, man, this is a business move. This is a business. Like, I'm going to go, but you're at a job and your direct report is like the manager, and then you're going to the regional manager to overthrow what the manager said. And I can't imagine the relationship now between the manager and the employee. And I think we kind of saw that because I would have put a lot more time. I don't think about the subtleties, even from a standpoint of getting on the announcer's table versus having a space in the ring or having an opportunity. I like the fact that he came from the crowd and stuff like that. But give this man some time, man. Why don't you make this a 10 to 15 minute segment with him really drawing out, why he did what he did and why he came back, and just give us the whole story, man. Why not do that?
And that's the thing, Chris. Again, why is he coming from the crowd?
Yes.
Why is he wearing a mask? Why didn't we set up something where Triple H was going to take all the glory and say, you wanted it, we heard you loud and clear, bring him out, and then let Truth talk about how he really felt.
100%.
These are the things that, like, they're missing, Chris, because, Chris, listen, I know I always talk about baseball, but, bro, the Giants had a shortstop for like 15 years. His name was Brandon Crawford. Okay, bro, in the last year, the guy couldn't hit at all. He was hitting his very late 30s, early 40s. Bro, he was so beloved, but even Giant fans knew from a business perspective, it was time to move on. Even we knew that. We weren't holding that against the team. So they had every reason to move on. And maybe they offered him another position and he turned it down. We don't know. But they had every reason to move on from the guy. So now, if the fans are going to bring him back, then make that the story. Make Triple H look like he's taking all the credit, and Truth say, no, man, you didn't bring me back. They brought me back, and you hate when they turn again. Give me that.
Yes, 100%. And why couldn't Triple H have came out? He was in Gorilla. Like bring some layers to this thing, man. If this is a R-Truth, why not make it an R-Truth Triple H type of power struggle? You know what I mean? Like, why not give us those elements? If you're really going to make a big run for Ron Killings, which, you know, is fine. I'm fine with it, but at the same time, I like the fact that he's going, you know, less comedy and stuff like that. Makes sense. But if you're going to make this run with Killings and you're going to make it believable, why not have him go against the establishment? Because it's a shoot. He got fired from the company after being with the company, you know, since the late 1997, I think it was. Yeah. And so at the end of the day, it's like, yes, he had his TNA run, but he started WWE nearly 20 years ago. He is a loyal player. He's been there consistently for 15 years. Why don't you make something out of that? If Triple H is the villain from all this, you have to shoot yourself into a work. Like, this happens all the time within stuff, and it makes it more believable. And it puts more heat on Triple H as the authority, and more pop and more cheering and back and support for R-Truth, instead of just making it a fad because the fans want to pop for R-Truth because he's the flavor of the month.
And then that's where Triple H could have said, when R-Truth starts cutting his opponent, all Triple H had to say was, come on, Ron, you're 53 years old.
Yep.
That's all he had to say, bro. Yep. I don't, Chris, they miss so many big beats. It's not funny. Go back to Money in the Bank. It's the usual suspects. Naomi wins Money in the Bank. You're going to sit there and tell me Alexa Bliss didn't need this more to kick off the whole Wyatt Six? We've been down this road with Naomi. Naomi was already in an angle with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. We've been down the road. Seth Rollins, we've been down the road a million times. How much better would it have been if either Breaker or Bronson were in it and won it? You know, I don't know how they're missing things that, like, just slap you across the face. So what are they going to do, man? We don't know what to do with Cena. Throw Punk out there, man. Yeah, exactly. Throw Punk out there. That's the biggest thing we can do. Throw Punk out there. But there's so many little beats to get other people. Why wasn't somehow, way, shape, or form? Why didn't they use Kaiser in that last match some way? Why didn't Kaiser go out there, raise Gunther's hand, and then lay him out? This is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know. They're missing so much.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I do think I'm a fan of Naomi winning. Alexa Bliss, man, she's just clock in, clock out, and she's won it before. To me, Alexa Bliss is just, she's done, but they're not really doing anything with her in the Wyatt
That's
Six.
what I'm saying. They're either in or they're out. Don't tease us. Either they're doing something or they're not. That's it. If you want to cut them all, then cut them all. But the fact that they keep appearing on TV and then it always goes nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. And I think Seth was just for the I talked about this last week with Abter and I. It's just it definitely seemed like this was for the sake of storyline, the reason why he's going to win. But it's like I have my mentality is if you can just cut a promo to be in a championship match the next week, why are you in Money in the Bank? You know what I mean? Like the point of Money in the Bank is to develop new stars or that like upper mid card type of person, gives them the bump, gives them the push that they need, similar to how the Royal Rumble is and was more than is. But yeah, man, like use those opportunities to push new stars. Why are you pushing Seth Rollins as the Money in the Bank winner again?
And not only that, look at, so they make him the Money in the Bank winner on Saturday, and they put the belt back on Gunther on Monday.
Yeah.
I think Seth is supposed to be a heel.
Yes.
So Seth has the Money in the Bank case, and we got two heel champions?
Exactly.
And you want them to boo Seth, but we've got that. This is what I'm talking about. My God, bro, one of my favorite songs of all time, I think I've spoken about it before, Ball of Confusion by The Temptations. This is so darn confusing, man.
It is, man. I'm wondering why they just aborted, really. They aborted the Jey Uso project when it comes to him being the top guy. This is the only thing that I can see out of this, Vince. We're a couple months before SummerSlam. The only thing I can see out of this is they wanted to make Punk Cena the Saudi match because, the Saudis like the
that's SummerSlam, right? Saudi SummerSlam?
No, Saudi's not of champions. That's in a couple of weeks.
Okay, that's in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Chris. I just want to get my timing right with everything.
Yep. Yeah, no problem. That's the end of June. So that's a couple of weeks from Saturday. And so basically it's that similar Saudi feel. The Saudi audience, the Saudis, they want like the more established names. I'm fine with that. So Punk and Cena for Saudi in a couple weeks, 2.5 weeks. And so what I can see is them shifting Punk over to Gunther, and you do Punk Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship for SummerSlam, and then Cena, for SummerSlam has a different opponent for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't see Punk and Cena for the world title if they're doing it at Night of Champions. I don't see the reason why you would blow this off at Night of Champions if it's just a blow off match.
I just love, because we say this all the time. God, bro, I have said on this show, if Triple H goes out to that ring, drops his trowel, and takes a steaming poop, the people will chant, "This is awesome."
Yes.
They totally said, "No, you're not getting the Cena. We're going to give that to the Saudis."
Exactly.
The Saudis again. I swear to God, bro, they literally crap on the entire fan base, and it's totally fine. It's totally fine with them, man.
Yeah, he can literally crap on the match, and they would chant "Holy S." I mean,
it's unbelievable the way they sit. I swear, I'm like, as much as I know Cena's going to say "not tonight," I'm saying to myself, you can't say "not tonight." You can't. But not only did they say "not tonight," they're going to take it to Saudi.
Yes, not even in this country. Yes.
Oh my God, bro! Come on, man.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I just think it doesn't make any sense. Who's there on Raw that would be a feud for Gunther if they're putting the belt on Gunther? Now, I think Jey could have given more opportunities for someone to have a championship match. I mean, you could have easily done Punk versus Seth, for the title at SummerSlam. But at the same time, it's like, since Gunther's the champion and he's cooled off, like he's not even warmed up. Like Gunther he had a match against Pat McAfee between WrestleMania and winning the title back again. What does that look like for Jey Uso? That looks bad on Jey Uso. You know what I mean? Like you had one match in 6 weeks, in a matter of 6 weeks' time, and you still beat the world heavyweight.
Think about the booking of that dude. You lost to Sami Zayn, you lost to Jey Uso, you beat an announcer, and then you beat the world champion. Think the booking of that, like if you wrote that down on paper and gave it to like a booker, they'd be like, huh? Yeah. Bro, do they dare? Like, I swear to God, bro, do they dare throw freaking Orton at Gunther?
Oh no, man!
Who's there, bro? Who's there?
Isn't Orton on SmackDown?
No, Orton's on Raw.
Is he?
Is he? I don't.
He hasn't been on. He hasn't been on. No, he was on SmackDown because it was him and Kevin Owens were feuding for a while.
Well, he hasn't been on SmackDown in a couple of weeks.
SmackDown either. Yeah. But he is. I did see him in the graphic for the King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh. So I don't think they even did a stipulation of the King of the Ring of what's going to happen if they win. I guess I
think they get a shot. I think they get a shot if they win. Yeah.
So they get a shot at the World Championship too. Yeah. And now, you know what? I don't even know who's in the.
I don't either, because what they've done, Chris, is they've eliminated stories for shots. Yeah. So they keep having all these things. This is how you get a shot. You win a match, you get a shot. There's no longer any personal issues.
Because that's feeding them. That's basically feeding them the drug, right? Like you just you don't. And just think about the attention span that's conditioning these people to have. Like if it's just match, pop. Like it seems like they've conceded to the fact that fans don't even really get into stories anymore because they're so addicted to this drug of these matches and these spots. But man, the health that the risks that have toward the wrestlers, it increases exponentially rather than just actually having the time to spending of just making stories, man. But like I said, when these pay-per-views and these PLEs are 2 and 3 weeks apart, when do you have a time? You're literally having 2 Raws before PLE. You know what I mean? How can you make a story in between that? It makes it very difficult. We got a lot of super chats. We'll be getting that here soon. Start off with John Cena starting an in-ring promo, interrupted by CM Punk. Punk wants a match. Cena accepts, but proposes Night of Champions. Rollins comes out and holds up the Money in the Bank briefcase. That was his spot for the night. He came all the way to Phoenix, Arizona to hold up the briefcase.
Bro, can we just play a game of you got Triple H's camp, and you've got, call it a Rock camp, call it a Vince McMahon camp, call it whatever camp you want. Okay. So Triple H needs the love of the Mark audience. Guys, I'm just going to tell you this. I'm just going to say it. That came from somebody who knows. Let me just say that without a shadow of a doubt. That's why Joe Henry was at WrestleMania. So he needs the love of the Mark crowd. Okay. So we see let's take argument's sake, TKO makes the decision about R-Truth because of the money, and we got to cut expenses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. His beloved Mark audience goes ballistic. Okay. So now we bring him back, and Triple H brings back the R-Truth for his audience. Mm-hmm. Now you got John Cena on the other side. And John Cena stated, R-Truth is a gimmick. You won't care about him in a year. That is a shoot, guys. That is an absolute shoot. So Cena is saying, you idiot, you listen to the people. They're not going to give a crap. So it's really like you've got these two sides on the same show. And man, when you really look at it and start breaking it down, how much of this is really playing out on the show?
Yeah.
Because, bro, I'm hearing too, Doctor, that Cena, first of all, is calling all his own shots. Nobody's telling Cena what to do or what to say. We know Cena still has his relationship, with Vince, very, very tight. And they bring this guy back because of the crowd, and he basically says, "You won't care about this guy." And so it's an unbelievable dynamic. I think it's fair to say this, Chris. We're not all on the same page.
Yes, I agree. I think that's clear. And I think at the end of the day, it's like, okay, yes, you are giving the people what you want. Yeah, there is a revolution. But at the same time, I saw how much do you give the people what you want? I think I think the truth idea was a good idea, because I don't think you should have let go of him in the first place. But I do think at the end of the day, with this fickle crowd, they'll just say, oh, well, if we can bring truth back.
Right, of course.
Okay. And then go ahead.
And Chris, what if Chris, you and I know, I and he isn't the only example. How many times did Scott Hall disappear because he was having personal issues? And that goes for a lot of wrestlers. Yep. Bro, whether you're failing a drug test or whatever the case may be, we saw Jeff Hardy at TNA. I mean, that happened. That has happened so many times.
Yep.
What if that's the case? What if somebody gets sent home for disciplinary reasons and we get that same reaction from the fan? What do we do at that point? We're going to bring them back?
To appease the audience, of course you are, Vince. You're going to bring them back. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, man. It becomes insatiable, man. There's no there's no sense of satisfaction. Everything's just insatiable with this types of crowd that we're dealing with.
Yes,
especially in the pro wrestling business, because what this does is it creates a power struggle, because it's like, okay, well, now you have the fans against the creative and writing staff. The fans won this time, and so what they're going to do, they're going to crap on certain people. They're booing Cody Rhodes now. You went from chanting his name to now he got booed at Money in the Bank. He got booed when his name was mentioned today. And so you're going to have some fans, okay, we're done with Cody Rhodes. We made him. It's kind of like that old father mentality. Like, I brought you into this world and I can take you out. Right?
We made you. We can break you.
We can break you. Exactly. Yeah. And so with that mindset, it's okay. Yeah. You want truth. Okay. We'll give you truth. Okay. Yeah. Truth is done. Now we want LA Knight. You want LA Knight. Okay. We'll give you. All right. Okay, we're done with LA Knight now. And it's crazy. This is the crazy thing about this, Vince. Just weeks ago, people were abandoning the LA Knight project. There were talks about, okay, well, maybe LA Knight. They were throwing names out. They're like, nah, I don't want LA Knight. But interestingly enough, now all of a sudden, oh, we want LA Knight, and Triple H is getting comments of like, we want LA Knight. We want LA Knight. You just said that you want truth. Now, since you feel like you got some power, it's like, oh, now we want that. Now we want Karrion Kross. Now we want Sami Zayn. Like, whoever you want to put as the flavor of the month for that time. But the thing is, if you keep saying yes to all of that, you will see the ridiculous inconsistency in your product.
And it works the other way around too, Chris. When they don't want somebody, we look what they did with Lyra Velcro. Yeah. Look what they did with her, and look what Triple H did with that match. Yep. So it works the other way too, where I want you want them, I'm going to give them to you. You don't want them, we're going to put them to the back of the line.
And Vince, that just shows how much there's a disconnect between NXT and the main roster too. Because at the end of the day, like, Lyra Valkyria was really over in NXT. They loved her. She comes on the main roster, people are watching her. You know what I mean? Because you can't think that there's a connection. You can't think that there is a connection that's complete, or at least almost complete, between the NXT crowd and the main roster crowd. Nah, man, like you can't rest on the laurels of someone's NXT success. And when you bring in these Kiana Jameses, the girl with the bag, when you bring in these Blair Davenports, when you're bringing in these,
whoop whoops.
Yeah, the whoop whoops. That's another one. When you're bringing in those people, you can't rest on the laurels of the NXT fame, because there's example after example after example of it's not working. You have to, like, I had this conversation with someone today. As a college professor, I have a rule of thumb to my students. When you're writing, I grade dissertations all the time. I was actually grading a dissertation as I was watching Raw. The rule of thumb is, when you're presenting something, especially a project or a topic, that's the thing about a dissertation, is a research topic. You have to present it in the fact that no one knows what you're presenting. No one knows. People know little to nothing about what you're giving them right now. That's a rule of thumb when it comes to writing a good assignment. You have to take that and translate that when it comes to character building too. You have to assume that this crowd does not know these people, or does not know much about these people. You have to create this person to look and feel like a star. If you're resting on the laurels of a small NXT crowd, you're going to get what chance for Lyra Valkyria, and it's clear as day. That's what we've been seeing every single time.
And Chris, what's fascinating is a lot of people, are not as old as me, and they can't go back as far as I can. But Vince's philosophy was, especially early on, especially during the WrestleManias, Vince's philosophy was, you're going to eat it whether you like it or not.
There you go.
Now, this is the complete opposite. Vince is, I'm going to push who I want to push, and you're going to like it. Yeah. This is the complete opposite of that psychology.
Yeah, and with that philosophy that Vince had, yes, he shot some blanks, but he hit some bullseyes, man. If that philosophy didn't exist, there wouldn't be a Hogan.
No,
there wouldn't be a Warrior.
No.
There wouldn't be a Reigns even. You know what I mean? Like, there wouldn't be a Cena. You know what I mean? So at that stuff, that philosophy works because at the end of the day, because like Batman is going to be Batman. Batman's a babyface whether you like it or not. And he's going to be put in perilous situations to continue to give us the interest of him being a babyface. It's not like you're not reading a comic book and it's episode 1, or version 1 or a first edition. Okay, well, the end of it is, Batman versus, Evil X. And then you get the second edition and it's Batman versus Evil X. And then you get the third edition and it's just like, it's just fight scenes. Batman versus Evil X. I don't want this series because I'm bored with it already. No, give me story. Why does Evil X not like Batman? Why does Evil X want to conquer this town? What is it about this town that made Evil X choose this town? Maybe there was an uncle that got, that went to jail because he had, because there was some mob or some mafia, ties that he was caught. And maybe Evil X has some ties with them. And now he's trying to take the town over. Give us that instead of Evil X is just a villain and let's just fight. Like, I mean, that's essentially what we're getting every single week with this type of storyline. Yeah. But within the Vince era, the philosophy was, okay, you're going to know why Evil X is evil.
Right.
You're going to know why he's evil for this particular town.
Yep.
And you're going to know why Batman is coming to save the day to be sure that his town is protected. That comic book mentality is 101 when it comes to storytelling. 101.
Yeah.
We have AJ Styles defeating Chad Gable. I mean, here you go, man. Another match.
Yeah. Means nothing.
Yeah. Roxanne Perez defeating Kairi Sane. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. Roxanne qualifies for the Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
Semifinals. You got anything on that?
No, again, we're just replaying the storyline with Rhea Ripley and Liv that we talked about last week. They're just flipping roles. That's all it is.
Yeah. Nikki Bella talks to Maxine Dupree, Natalia backstage, and introduces herself to Io Sky.
And apparently, Io Sky's a big Nikki Bella mark. Apparently,
she is absolutely. Becky Lynch cuts an in-ring promo, calls out Lyra Valkyria. Lyra comes out. Bayley attacks Becky from behind.
And this is what I mean. Again, I got this written right here. Back to the well. We're back to the Becky and Bayley. How many times do you go to these wells, man? How many times? What are they going to do different that we haven't seen a billion times before?
I mean, the only thing, see, that's a good question, Vince. The only thing that would make sense to me would be, I had this conversation before. It's like, use the old guard to the advantage to push the new guard. WWE doesn't do that very well. They could. It makes me wonder if somehow you get Becky and Bayley, you get Lyra defending Becky. Becky clocks Lyra, and some odd reason. There's a reason why Bayley doesn't like Lyra. In some way, you can make that a storyline, because essentially what we're going to do is, this is just another filler. This is just another space for Bayley to have just a match. But we need something with Bayley, man. We need
this is exactly what's going to happen, Chris. I swear to God, they gave her 2 weeks of what. Okay, and let's face it, man. I'll say it again. You played Becky's babyface music, so everybody could sing along. So everybody thinks Becky's the babyface and Bird Lady is the heel. But that's not. You had it the other way around. So what happens, Chris? This is it, guys. So we give her the what treatment for 2 weeks in a row. Holy crap, this ain't working the way we want. They're booing her. So we take the belt off of her. Now here's what we're going to do, bro. Bayley's going to attack Becky. Lyra's going to have a problem with it. Now Lyra's going to attack Bayley. So now we've got Lyra set as a heel. The people want to boo Lyra. They want her to be a heel, so now we're going to make her a heel. That's exactly what they're doing here.
Yeah, and I was, you laid it out exactly what exactly how I think is going to happen. I think, like I said, I think we need something from Bayley. I don't think that does anything for Bayley, though. I do think you laid it out the way that's probably going to go, because Lyra's going to be the heel all of a sudden, align herself with Becky Lynch. There's a respect there. Enemy of enemy is my friend type of deal when it comes to Bayley. But what does that do to Bayley? Is that another opportunity for Bayley to defy the odds or something?
It doesn't do anything for nobody cares. You know what it does, Chris? It eats up minutes on the show. That's all it does, man.
Yep, absolutely. Can you see a rubber match between Becky and Lyra beforehand? Because they had the match at Backlash, they had the match at Money in the Bank, and so
yeah, we'll see it. We'll see it somewhere in there. But that's because she got 2 weeks of what? We're going to make her a heel now.
Yeah. But what is that going to do? I mean, Lyra's, she's just because you're flip-flopping someone from face to a heel doesn't mean that they're going to succeed. I mean, you still got to give them character. I mean, that's the big thing.
The marks are the ones flip-flopping them. They don't know. The marks don't know the rules. Chris, you're laying out rules. They don't have a freaking clue what the rules are, man.
To your point, Vince, I bet when they do turn her heel, that's when they start cheering her.
Yeah.
That's when I start cheering Lyra. Yeah. And then they'll boo her and then want her to turn face again. And then they'll turn her face and then they'll boo her again after turning her face. Yeah. And it's just like, and again, WWE is just going to keep oscillating and just bouncing around like Ricochet Rabbit. You have Ron Killings promo standing on top of the announcer's table, cuts his locks off. I mean, what would you think about the lock cutting?
I just kept thinking, like, I mean, bro, those are probably Extensions. I mean, I would think about that. That's all I could think about is like, okay, bro, he's cutting his extensions. But again, bro, there was so much meat on the bone, and they've missed it. They've absolutely missed it.
I liked the segment. I liked the kind of transition there. The cutting of the locks, I think, was overdue. I mean, he's been growing those for a while, and he's 53, man. So he's probably not going to grow that hair back that's in the front. But I mean, that's the way to do it, man. That's the way.
Well, it was definitely different. I mean, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
It was definitely different. Yeah.
If you need to cut, that was a shock factor. I mean, talk about adding umph to your segment, to your promo that people weren't expecting. People, I mean, as someone with locks, that's something it's shocking. Like if some people just don't cut their locks, for a
Chris,
promo.
can I just ask you a very simple question?
Yep.
If we're gonna cut his locks, wouldn't that have been a great way to give John Cena heat?
I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, seriously, like what was that, a week ago?
Yeah,
a week ago, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I think that, man. I was thinking that too. I was like, wow, if you're going to, see, I can see both ways too. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I can see both ways too, because I guess that's for Truth to say, I'm no longer R-Truth. He was funny. He was doing that. Now is a new version of me. But I think this would have added to it if he knew they was going to cut his hair, and which is cool. Why don't you have John Cena just pull out the scissors, cut off one, R-Truth come out, and he's like, okay, I'll just cut the rest of it up. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I think that's what you do.
Best of both worlds.
You have Seth Rollins and Dominic. Seth Rollins defeating Dominic, Braun, and Penta for the. Oh no, that was it. Seth Rollins.
No, Sammy went over.
Sammy. I was like, no, it wasn't Sammy.
Oh, Sammy, give Sammy another win, man. Let Sammy go over. Yeah.
I was like, no, we only saw Seth Rollins once. No, so we get to LA Knight taking out Braun Breaker. So looks like LA Knight and Braun Breaker is going to be a thing soon.
I guess, yeah.
But here's the funny thing about this, Vince. So everybody's back on the LA Knight train because he's the new flavor of the month again. But Braun Breaker, he's trying his best to try to get heat, but he's that type of character that people like to bark. The Pavlovian dogs like to bark. So why are you allowing him to get heat? How is he getting heat, man?
Here's Chris. Here's where they're just clueless. Okay. One guy who has absolutely 1,000% gotten over on his own, without a shadow of a doubt, is Fatu. Why, bro? Because he's cool.
Yep.
He looks cool. His language, his little catchphrases are cool. Bro, Braun Breaker is in that same category. The same exact category. You let that dude go, he's going to get over because everybody wants to be him. Mm-hmm. Why are we treating these two people differently, man? I'll tell you why. Because Paul Heyman said, give me Braun Breaker. That's why. That's why.
He probably said, give me Jacob too. And Jacob's like, nah.
Yeah, probably. I hope so, man. Yeah.
I'm good, bro. Yeah. I'm good. So I don't understand the alliance still. I still don't understand why Braun and Bronson are with Seth. We still don't know that. We still don't understand that. No. Bronson, Reed, and I still say it. I mean, it's been weeks now since this happened. Didn't it happen the Raw after WrestleMania? So it's been 5 weeks, since that, 6 weeks, since that's been a thing. In this 6 weeks, how has Braun Breaker's career advanced more than 6 weeks when he was by himself. I mean,
Bro,
he won the
they're
Independent
dressing them
Championship.
the same. They're putting them in the
Yeah.
black suits with the blacks. That, to me, that's the curse of death. Look at those two guys, bro, that were in the Bloodline, Tama Tonga, and who was the other guy?
Tongaloa.
That was the kiss of death. They made those guys the same guy. That they were you couldn't tell one apart from, and they're doing the same thing here. What is with the black security guard look, Chris? Why do we freaking need that?
We don't, and especially like if they're henchmen, okay, but they're actually wrestlers. You know what I mean? Like if you had for months, like they're just being henchmen, okay, I get it, but they're established wrestlers. Like if you're wanting to do the henchman thing, that's a perfect opportunity to use some NXT people, because that's a good way to transition them from NXT, or have some indie people that you're trying to establish. We don't know these henchmen people, and then eventually they work with Seth because they actually feel lower than Seth Rollins and trying to establish themselves. But when you're having someone like a Braun Breaker, who's one of the most over people in the entire Raw brand, how is it helping his stock if he's now a lackey for Seth Rollins? It just doesn't make sense to me. No, none at all. We have AJ Styles backstage interview. Kathy Kelly walks over to Grayson Waller talking to the New Day, interviews the New Day. What do we have on there?
Bro, New Day's so outplayed, man. I did my show today of the 10 people that need to go tomorrow, and they were on that list.
Right? You think so?
Come on, man! Please, they're done. What are they going to do that we haven't done a billion times before, man?
The tag team division as a whole, man. What do you make of it?
I don't know what you make of it, bro, because they just had the Wyatt Six lay out the entire tag team division on SmackDown. They had 4 guys. What is it, 4? Yeah, 4 guys. Yeah, they had 4 guys lay out 8. They had 4 guys lay out 8 guys. The whole division. Yep.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah. What's next? We got Nikki and Liv. Yeah, Nikki. We talked about that. Looks like that's going to be a match for Evolution.
I guess so. Yeah.
And then Gunther winning the World Heavyweight Championship, man.
Yeah. And they listened to me, bro, because I personally tagged Hunter and I said, bro, you've gotten in the routine now of you're going from 8 to 8:30 with the main event every single week. When they start going into false finishes at 8:15 or 10:15, we know there's another 15 minutes left in the match. Stop it. So at least today they went beyond 8:30. That's what they need to do. They can't have a set ending time every single week, bro, because then you're going to know when the show is over. So I applaud them for going to like 8:38 tonight, whatever it was. I applaud them for going over. They need to do that every week. And I do want to say this too, Chris. These 2 guys worked their butts off in that match. They worked really, 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 really hard. But God, you would have to believe, bro, that Jey Uso is probably lacking a little confidence in that spot he was in. This surely is not going to give him a confidence boost. And I think you've got to be careful with the psyche of these guys. Bro, once these guys put on boo-boo face, man, it's difficult to get them back, man.
It's interesting, Vince, because I've talked about that before when it comes to this trend of making these wrestlers being just flavors of the month and then going right back down to mid-card level. I mean, Kofi Kingston was one of them, right? Like there was some type of movement, Kofi Mania and things like that, and then he just went down. Sami Zayn just a couple of years ago, there was a movement with him. He got a world title shot at a pay-per-view. He's back down. So it's like why don't you use these people and say, okay, you know what? We're going to drop the belt off of you, but we're still going to keep you in the mix. We're still going to keep you relevant instead of just saying, oh, we'll just put this person here, bring them down. Oh, we'll just put this. How are you establishing stars by doing that?
Chris, you hear this all the time in professional sports. The easy part is getting there. The hard part is staying there. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing here, bro. Trust me, from somebody that did it. The easy part is getting them over. The harder part is keeping them over. Bro, think about if Randy Savage would have slid down the card. Or the Ultimate War. Kurt Henning's going to slide down the card. Right. See, bro, that never happened. Yeah. It never happened. It's easy to get them there. It's harder to keep them over. And you can go back through history, bro. Everybody was kept over. Did Big Boss Man ever fall down the card?
No, not during his initial run. It's because their characters were so strong. Right?
That's it. That's it. No, so no matter what, if they won or lost, it really didn't matter because you think if Randy Savage lost the match, people mattered? You think it mattered to freaking people?
I think it mattered psychologically from a standpoint of where he was. Like, so if he was a babyface, him losing actually brings layers to a storyline, right? Because fans are like, no, you know what I mean? Like, they don't want him to lose. He's a babyface. If he's a heel, heels can lose all the time. I mean, their characters are strong enough that it should be able, like, heels should be. Booker T said this years ago, long time ago. The heels are there to make the baby faces good. Baby faces always win. Yeah. So at the end of the day, yes, you have the heel be champ. Yes, you have the heel go on a streak to a winning streak. All of that, no matter if it takes 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, the whole purpose is to put a baby face over.
Always.
100%. And so at the end of the day, no matter what it is, the heels put a baby face over. And so, but if the heel isn't strong enough, the baby face isn't going to be strong enough.
Right.
And if the baby face isn't strong enough or isn't being booked as being strong enough, you can put the baby face over 3 times in a row. That's not going to do anything because the baby face isn't booked as strong. Yep. And so you have to make both parties look very, very strong in how you book them. So.
And how many times was the draw you didn't know who was going to go over? Because they accomplished exactly that. When you got Hogan and Warrior in the match, when you got Andre and Hogan in the match, who the freak, when you got Warrior and Savage in the match, who are they going to put over? That was the draw, man. You didn't know. And you wanted to see what they were going to do. That all that has been out the window for a decade.
I'll never forget, man, when I was a kid. And again, this just goes to show how strong the fans are behind or emotionally invested in these babyface characters, how they should be at least. Because I never forget one of the most impactful moments of my life as a pro wrestling fan as a kid was you know how they used to do the platform interviews with usually Mean Gene Oakland that was away from the ring. So the Ultimate Warrior did one time, right? So he was cutting a promo. Then all of a sudden he starts getting the shakes.
Shango.
And then he had the goo come down, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, Warriors. And like all the fans were just like, whoa, what is going on? You know, that's the emotional, and that doesn't take a 30-minute match. That doesn't take this is awesome. That doesn't take a holy bleep. All of that is leading to one match between the Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango.
What about freaking Damian Biting Savage?
Yes, absolutely, man.
That's it, man.
Yes, man. Crucifixes them on the ropes, man. Does the gimmick on the arm, and even before the Warrior and the Papa Shango, even there was another segment when the Warrior was he was in a match and he won the match and he was on the apron doing his gimmick. Papa Shango comes out with like the voodoo doll, and the Taker starts to shake. I mean, Warrior starts to shake and comes down from the ropes, and just he's like groveling, on the apron on the floor now, and it's like, man, that's the type of stuff that didn't take 3 or 4 matches. It's just those are segments, man.
Rick Rude with Cheryl Roberts on the trunks.
Oh man, absolutely,
man. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Cutting a promo while she's in the audience, man, and then it's just and he's cutting a promo on her, and then Roberts beelines from the backstage and just like clobbers Rude, man, and then that leads to Rude putting her face on his and the tights in the front. Like, that's the type of stuff that doesn't need 18 matches to develop, man.
All you have to look at is, bro, is anybody going to be talking about this 10 years from now? Bro, I'm still talking about Fuji Vice,
yes,
Fuji Bandito. I'm still talking about you're gonna talk about something that was on this show tonight 10 years from now. Come on, man.
Dude, the machines,
you'll forget this show by Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, of course. The machines, Mean Gene Oakland cutting a promo with the machines, in Japan, I mean, it's fantastic. That's the stuff you're thinking about 40 years ago, man. Yep. In 2065, you're not going to have a conversation of, man, you remember when AJ Styles went against Chad Gable on that June episode in 2025, man, that match cooked. What I mean? Like, you're not going to have those conversations, especially if all these matches cook for the next 40 years.
Yeah.
What's going to stand out? Like, you won't have these conversations, man. Those things stand out. Roberts cutting a promo on Cheryl, Roots cutting a promo on Cheryl Roberts, and Jake Roberts beelining. That stands out. Warrior and Shango stands out. Hogan and Andre stands out. Like, those are the type of stuff that stands out. Owens' heel turn. Like, when I kicked your leg, Brett, it felt good, Brett. Like, think about that for a second. He feels like the outcasted younger brother of the Hearts. Started off with the Survivor Series. You got all the Hearts there, all the brothers, and Owens is kind of like, he ain't really feeling it. You know what I mean? Like, and then 2 months later, the tag team match at the Royal Rumble. Owens not happy of the finish. He's kind of like, he's my brother, but this is my time. This is my opportunity. That kicking his leg, man. The only thing he had to do was just kick this leg, just turn the entire trajectory, led to the cage match. Stuff like that, man, is what we remember from 30 years ago. Not something from 2025 and 2055 on a random Raw of a match that is going to be like every other match, for the next 30 years, man. So, all right, let's get to these super chats real quick. We got Traffic Jam, $5. Hello, Dr. Chris and Vince Russo. Celebrate my birthday today. Hey, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
No yeet.
No yeet for his birthday.
Yeah.
You can give him a no yeet.
No, he said the night ended well. Yeah.
The night ended well with Gunther winning the heavyweight champion. Jay, no yeet. There you go.
No yeet.
There you go. Keith Andrew Miller, new member. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Keith. Welcome.
Awesome Sauce, $2. No Rollins in his 20-minute interest promo was great.
Yes. But they made up with it with those 4-ways, bro. They made up with the entrances with the 4-ways. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Let's see here. We have Awesome Sauce, $5. What's here we go. This or that again. Which would you watch, WWE or The View? Like, as bad as Velcro as y'all haven't been Whoopi brag about her Oscars as she botches reading a teleprompter.
Yeah, that is true. That's the new one too. Well, the other one they love now is this other girl with, I know nothing about her, and her name is too close to Velcro. Bro, what are their two names with the Velcro and the Valkyrie? What are their two names?
So there's Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah.
And then who else?
The other one.
From Raw?
With the horns.
Oh, Stephanie Vaquer or Vacquet as
okay,
Nikki
are those two names not too close to freaking each other? Like, seriously, that would have never happened in Vince's dime. Those two last names are too close to each other. Somebody should have had a different name.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. We have, by the way, here's your homework, SK Nation, for the comment section. What was your favorite segment or favorite angle growing up as a kid? We gave you a few. The Ted DiBiase with the basketball gimmick, bouncing the basketball was really cool. And at the end of the 10th time as you're bouncing it, he kicks the ball, man. The person didn't get any money. You know, RVD was one of the kids that were in one of the segments.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He was one of the kids. Let's see here. George Dominguez 199. Waste of title run, seems no faith in Jey.
Does seem like that.
Yeah. Awesome Sauce, $5. Nikki beat up her husband, kidnapped a child, and lost custody. Can get cheered, but fans, wrestlers still bash Hogan for saying a word 20 years ago alone. You know, that's interesting, man. I was wondering with the Nikki Bella stuff. I was like, so wasn't she in like some really like heated custody stuff?
Right there, I'm
saying like that's what I was thinking about when they brought her back and they announced her. I'm like, oh, okay. So we're just going to no-sell that one. Let's see. Carmine Alvaro, 1499. Phil Brooks is the biggest fraud and spineless hack in the history of wrestling. Anything he's ever stood for, he has gone back.
I just can't stand his pandering, bro. For everything he's supposed to represent and for everything he's supposed to be, the pandering is, I can't stand the pandering to the crowd, man.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Gilgamesh, $2. So they're making Gunther look weak as S. How are they making him look weak?
I don't know. I guess maybe the sleeper and not pinning him. I don't know. I don't think he looked weak.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Let's see here. We have Keith, new member. Thank you, Keith. We got Meth. You see that name?
I like that. Meth Rollins, very nice.
Meth Rollins, $40. It's so obvious Seth will cash in on Gunther,
which makes no sense whatsoever. If freaking Seth is Seth supposed to be a heel, Chris? I don't know.
He is. Yeah, he's supposed to be, especially with being aligned with Heyman. I mean, but is this stuff mapped out though? Like, how far, in your opinion, Vince? How far in advance is this stuff mapped out?
I don't think it's mapped out at all. At all. I think they were making decisions tonight based on freaking what happened on Saturday.
Yep. Let's see here. We have Dez 499. Fatal 4-Ways used to be special on occasion. Yeah. Triple H's fitting the roster into one match so he doesn't have to find spots for them to be created. Lazy booking. Spot on.
Yep.
Spot on. Yes. Yep. I think that is absolutely spot on. Velveeta Cheetah. Okay. Yeah. $2. Gunther Dom tag champs would be fun. How would that even make sense?
It doesn't matter. Does it have to?
It doesn't. I guess not. Yeah. Dom's Intercontinental Championship one. What do you make of that, man?
They're just he's got the Drew went away, so now he's got the bulletproof label. Dom now is wearing the bulletproof label. We can beat Dom to death. He's a bumping fool, but he's got enough heat that no matter what we do, he's going to stay over. He's got the new label.
But 6 weeks ago, he was the biggest babyface that came out at WrestleMania, man. And what do you do with that? Nothing. I mean, you have Judgment Day segments again, and now he just feels like he did before he won the title.
Yeah. And what about no mention whatsoever of Carlito not being in that little group anymore?
Yep.
Where was that follow up?
None. And truth, he didn't mention anything about Cena, did he? Like he attacked Cena.
Yeah,
but he didn't even mention
I don't think he
anything
mentioned anything at all. No.
Why not?
Because that was just for a pop. They're not going nowhere with it.
Wow. Cena mentioned Truth on Friday and today on Raw, and somehow you don't tie the two together
because Cena's doing and saying what he wants to say, and Truth is getting scripted by the writers.
Wow, you want to make this feel like a shoot, though. Like he's starting to get right back into
Chris. If this is a shoot, we ain't coming through the crowd wearing a mask. there's no masks in shoots, bro. Like one is so freaking wrestling wearing a mask. If somebody's wearing a mask, bro, you could throw the shoot out the window.
You could throw the shoot. I mean, if someone's robbing a bank, though, they're gonna wear a mask, though. Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing, though. I think with that, it made sense that he wore a mask when it comes. And here's the thing: when he did attack John Cena at Money in the Bank, I'm like, okay, so if that was just anybody else that came out the crowd, you would jump them. You would have security jump them. But for some odd reason, you don't jump him and you just allow someone to just beat up John Cena. Like that was inconsistent to me. That didn't make any sense. But it would be a complete fail if they don't capitalize on this Truth and Cena stuff, man. They have to. They have to.
I don't think they're gonna, but we'll see.
We shall see. All right. Who else do we have? Here we go. Awesome Sauce. Imagine Gorilla and Bruno on commentary yeeting like coal.
Oh God. Can you imagine Gorilla yeeting, bro?
Back then you would do the Hogan gimmick. Just imagine Gorilla on commentary doing like
Yeah. Michael Cole is
horrible.
That dude has become such a tool, man.
JG $5 Saturday. I'm not surprised because he's Triple H's boy, but can Trips be less obvious with who his boys are?
It's unbelievable. You can clearly see who's in favor and who's not. It's crystal clear.
For sure. Bob 1399 couldn't be bothered to watch Raw. Did Punk forget about Seth and Paul screwing him and challenged Cena despite no evidence of Punk winning a match of meeting in the last 6 months? What are we watching? That's what I thought about that too. Why did Punk even come out in the Cena promo?
Because we gotta go to the biggest pop. That's it. That's it. I mean, I'm not joking. That's it. That's good. Who's the biggest pop? We don't have an opponent for Cena. Who's going to be the biggest pop if we send out CM Punk?
Yeah, we got to get this Saudi. We got to get this the Saudi money, man. So we just got to hurry up and do a promo. Yeah. No story, just a promo. And I just said that, Vince. I just said that. I said if you can cut a promo and get a world championship match, why are you in Money in the Bank?
Right. Why are you in King of the Ring?
Why are you in King of the Ring? Like, makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
CM Punk didn't even win the Money in the Bank qualifier.
Right.
To get a title shot. Someone has to go through the qualifying matches and win the bank just to get a title shot. But CM Punk, all I got to do is cut a promo.
Yeah.
And I got Saudi money, and I got a main event for the WWE Championship. That's all it took.
That's it.
Junior, $2. Gunther, transitional heel champion for Sammy at SummerSlam. Oh, that would be your favorite thing, Vince.
Please, Junior, please. If that happened, I might cut my January short to freaking August. Yes,
cut it short, man. Let's see here. We got Anthony, $10. Two heel champs, two heel Money in the Bank winners. Maybe Punk wins otherwise. What they gonna do? I don't think Punk beats Cena.
Who are the two heel women champions? You got Tiffy Time and you
both are baby faces, aren't they?
No,
yeah,
is it who is
Io.
it? Oh, Io. Okay.
We got Hamp $4.99. Unbelievable.
I was thinking that too, bro.
Nikki in the same building and creative does absolutely nothing with it.
I was thinking that too.
I didn't think of that. That would have been very, very interesting to get that heat on Cena. Makoto Shizo $4.99. Hey, Vince, can you explain the difference between a work and a shoot to the marks, especially with the truth situation?
Yeah, with the truth situation, the shoot is that it went down like it really happened. His contract was up, and they did not renew his contract. There was a backlash, which forced them to then come to some kind of contractual agreement. That is the shoot. Triple H, on the other hand, is trying to make you believe it was a work. That none of that was true. It was all set up and it was all a work and it was not real. That is the difference. And that's what Triple H said at the freaking press conference. And I literally laughed my arse off when he says, well, it's all part of the show. Oh, okay. Triple H. You can't you don't know the difference between a heel and a baby face, and you're going to work an elaborate work. Okay. All right, bro. All right, Trips.
There was some talent backstage that were pretty upset about that, man, because at the end of the day, Truth is very likable backstage. Yeah. And it's like, man, sold it by throwing that it's a work out there, implying that it's a work. It's like, man, as someone who with a degree in PR, man, these are just PR nightmares.
Yeah,
like when you're doing stuff like that doesn't help anything. It's a PR nightmare to admit to not admit that you were just wrong. You know what I mean? Like there's a sign of respect from a maturity standpoint. You're like, you know what? Hey, you know what, man? I'll give it to y'all. It was a bad call. You know what I mean? Those are the type of people who get respected. Not if you're just no-selling stuff and you're looking at those reporters are just like peons that you can just whip however you want to and just no-sell the fact that, it was a bad call. You know what I mean? And it makes me wonder, Vince, that if Ron Killings was told not to say certain things during the segment.
I'm sure he was. Absolutely, I'm sure. Yeah.
Westio $5. Triple H could have interrupted Troop's promo and ran the gimmick he ran with Hennig in WCW last match. He loses. He's going to give a proper sentence.
Would have been a hell of a lot more interesting.
It would have. Anthony Giuliano $2. What's your thoughts on our Truth situation? What's your thoughts?
We just covered that.
Yeah. George Dominguez $4.99. Triple H and Tony Khan both cater to the marks. Casuals do not matter anymore, and both companies prove it every week. Hence, no real creativity or storytelling.
Dead on, George. Bingo.
Instagram wrestling historian $2. They lost the title. Vince Russo. Rikishi.
No yeet. No yeet. No yeet.
No yeet. Apex Caliber $4.99. How would I have ended the show? Seth tries to cash in on Gunther and Bronson Reed screws him over, shake things up a bit. Give me the why, man.
And it's too early. They're not going to do that for a while. They're going to milk this thing forever.
Oh, yeah. Ezekiel Castleton, $5. I was around 10 years old during the Who Ran Stone Cold Over. It popped me huge dollar right. Too much wrestling for people who don't matter. Yep. Yeah, that's that last line is exactly it right there. Danimal $199. Too many qualifying matches every week.
And you know what the funny thing is, Chris? I swear to God, guys, this is a fact. Tournaments do not draw. They do not draw. And the reason they never drew in the past is because they're cold matches. There was no story. And tournaments never, ever drew. Every now and then, bro, we needed a breather creatively. So we would book a tournament knowing it was not going to draw. We just needed a mental break.
Gotcha.
And that's all they do. That's all they do is tournaments. That's it.
So Deadly Game in 98, that tournament was to make Rock heel ultimately, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about on television.
On television, as far as Raw is concerned.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Because the Deadly Game tournament was just on Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then the King of the Ring. Did you ever have the book King of the Rings
I think so.
back in the 90s?
If I was there, I don't remember.
There was a gap between King of the Rings for a while. Yeah. Let's see here. We have Apex. Well, King of the 90. Did you book the one with Angle? The Angle one?
I wasn't there when Kurt was there.
Billy Gunn, I think, was 99.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Ken Shamrock. Did you book that one?
And anything after anything like 97, if it was 97, 98, 99, I did. Yeah.
Because Austin was what, 96?
Yeah, I was there. I did Austin.
Yeah. We have who else we got here? Or no, was Austin 96 or 97?
I don't know.
Ooh, I'm interested in wondering because
for a guy who's got a lot of back pain, bro, we're going on 90 minutes here, Chris.
You see all these daggone super chats, Vince.
Come on. I don't care when Austin won King of the Ring. Let's go. What are the super chats?
I'm trying to make conversation from these super chats, man. These people
they don't listen. Money. You and I know damn well Sportskeeda does not pay us overtime, bro. I am 21 minutes into overtime. Let's go.
True. That's a good point, man. I don't like being rushed though. So hold on. Just give me some time here. Let's see here. We get who's next? Apex. Dom keeps getting cheered. Ironically, Triple H ignores it. You got anything on that, Vince? Come on, Vince. Give the people what they paid money for your comments, man. Come on, Vince. EJ 499. If VKM came back to creative today, what do you think he'd do to take the power back?
He would 1000% do things his way. The marks and online and that live crowd would have zero bearing on him. None. Zero.
Gotcha. Robert, $5. Another impactful moment as a kid when Ultimate Warrior got locked in oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yep.
Zubair, $10. My opinion, Punk should have been in Money in the Bank and win to build Punk stopping Cena leaving with the WWE title, similar to their story from 2011 reverse, but would make Punk promo tonight make more sense.
Yeah, I didn't see that stuff in 2011, so I can't comment.
Okay. Zubair, $5. WWE literally doing Money in the Bank and King of the Ring right after as an excuse with no stories. And again, what logic we have having multi-man tournaments, matches and tournaments. I think
and think about that too, man. If it's a four-way, they know they're getting time out of that, Chris.
Yeah, that's true.
A four-way is going at least 20 minutes.
Absolutely. I 100%. J. Code, 499. What do you guys think about the part-time wrestling? Roman gets laid out by the unnamed faction and hasn't been seen since. I don't even know how he left.
I don't even remember. It was so long ago. I don't even remember.
Corey, 499 was dumbfounded when busted open with saying truth situations is
I can't even believe they were saying that. Seriously, that's absolutely ridiculous. You think a company is going to put that much heat on itself? Like, seriously, you think they're going to put that much heat on themselves? Come on, man.
Yeah. All right, Vince, we're done with the super chats, man.
Yeah.
He tried to rush y'all. Y'all paying good money for these super chats.
Chris, let me tell you. I know you do too, but Chris, my podcasting day starts at about 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So by 10 o'clock, bro, I'm OOG. You know what OOG is? What's OOG?
Out of gas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. I trust me, man.
I know you are, and I know you went through a lot today with the back
and the whole day of talking here for an hour and 20 minutes pales in comparison of 8 hours of hearing people's life issues.
I can't imagine. I can't. I'm being dead serious. I can't imagine, bro. I'd be dead.
Slacker Scott's $2. Here's $2.
Yes.
Sign off and go to bed. I'll see. I'm cool with that. Vince Russo, what do we have, my brother? Nice.
Guys, go to patreon.com/Russo TWC. Get your free week of the brand. It'll cost you nothing. Try us, sample us, and if you like us, you can subscribe for $3 a month.
Yes, indeed, man. All right. Subscribe to Pancakes and Power Slams, y'all. That's basically that's my plug. There you go. This guy right here is Vince Russo. I am Dr. Chris. This is the Legion of Raw. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeet.
I'll get you over the shoulder. Give me an over the shoulder before you sign off. Over the shoulder.
I got you. Hold on. Give me a yeet first.
Yeet.
Yeah, there he is.